Hey everybody, welcome to this latest edition of Snow Talk. This is Way 3 News meteorologist Brian Good, and since it is Thursday, normally I'm not here as we head into the upcoming weekend. Adjust the camera so you can tell I have a head. We are going to look at several things all the way through Thanksgiving week, and there's a lot to discuss, so I'll try not to ramble a whole lot and get right to it. First off, here's the stats for the season. A little different way of looking at this, but last year, we ended up with 26 inches of snow. On normal is a foot and a half. So far, 3.3, and well, we got a long way to go because it's not even close to winter yet. We're a month away from that even happening. So on the agenda for this edition of Snow Talk, near Thanksgiving, a chance for some snow. It depends on how that will evolve, and that certainly does lead into the 29th. So these actually could be one event instead of two, but we'll see how that plays out. But the weather does look more interesting down the road. You may have seen my tweets earlier today and on Facebook about NOAA releasing the updated maps for the upcoming winter. They've increased the cold weather potential for the southern United States, including Kentucky, and they kept us on the dry side, which is a little odd considering El Nino would fit that, but El Nino chances have dropped off dramatically, so a little confused on that map. Anyway, they also released this map showing how most of the planet was warm from January through October. In fact, the warmest on record. But notice the exception being the United States and pretty much right over us. So it's skewed somewhat because in our world, our impression of what happened is it's been cooler than normal, but for the rest of the world, it ended up being much warmer, if not record warmth, certainly. So kind of putting things in perspective there on a global scale. Today, had a cold front come through, no more strong winds out of the south, warming us up near 50. That's not the case today. Today the winds are out of the west, so it's a cooler wind moving through the area. And even though the sun is out, it's not helping a whole lot. We're stuck in the 30s, 34 as of this taping. We may climb another degree or two before we get into the cooling part of the day. But temperatures still a good 20 degrees below where they should be for this time of the year. Notice the warm air, though, to the south, it's looking at us, and it's wanting to visit Kentucky. And it is heading our way as we into the weekend, but rain and even a few thunderstorms will kind of keep that warmth on a limited scale. But at least it's an improvement. Here we go as we head into Saturday. Chilly weather for tomorrow, for Friday, by the way. But for Saturday, we start to get that south wind kicking into the Ohio Valley. As I mentioned yesterday, I still think that the strongest moisture flow is going to be west of I-65. So our rain chance here locally just doesn't seem very high at all. We're closer to the high pressure itself. Even though the high is moving out of the way, I think it has enough of a grip on Kentuckiana to keep us mostly dry and the rain to the west. But I will say as the high is moving to the east on Saturday night, that rain chance will slowly creep toward I-65. So our western counties, I wouldn't rule out some showers later in the day into the evening, but the majority of the area should remain on the dry side. That changes on Sunday. Got this strong area of low pressure. The GFS has eased on the intensity of that low somewhat today compared to yesterday. Still taking the track over portions of Illinois and then into Michigan. As I mentioned before, this is a tightly wound system. A lot of rain with this. Severe threat will be limited to where you get the best wind fields and the best instability, and that will be closer to the Gulf of Mexico. We have good wind fields over us, but our instability will be lacking quite a bit. We have a small amount that is present that could give us some lightning and thunder, maybe some strong winds. They'll get awful close to the 50-degree range or 50 mile per hour range, but I really think that's going to be the exception rather than the rule. Here are the winds aloft, still being pegged right over Kentucky, being fairly strong winds just above our heads, and the ability to tap into those winds is very, very marginal. Cape's about 100. It is enough, certainly, that a couple of cells could get tall enough to tap into some of those winds. We could see gusts into the 40s, so wouldn't rule that out, but the majority of these will be just heavy showers, a few lightning strikes, and maybe some decent amount of rainfall. This is what we call the PWAT map. This is basically our potential to see how much rain will we pick up in, say, an hour's time. And we use that value. And right now we're getting the light blue shading, which would be about a PWAT of 1.4. In other words, about an inch, a little over an inch and a quarter would be possible in 1 hour's time if the rain system stayed over us. That's a decent amount of moisture for this time of the year. So we could certainly see some totals approaching 3/4 of an inch, if not 1 inch, the system as it passes through. And if you get thunderstorms, that number could be higher. So it's a fairly moist system. And you know what? We could use the rain. We've got snow melt out there, but it wasn't dramatic amount of snow that came through, so it shouldn't cause any problems with flooding or anything like that, in case you're wondering. All right, now looking ahead, once that system passes by, it is going to give us some strong winds. Here it is. This is the jet stream at the mid levels, and you can see strong winds with this as it ejects itself up to the north and east, moving out of the area. After we head into this weekend, we then get into an interesting setup for next week. This is Thanksgiving week. Deep trough really begins to dig in here Monday and Tuesday. The problem we're going to have with this setup is how quickly it will move off to the east. Is it going to slowly evolve itself into a deep trough, or are we going to see this be fairly progressive? And the reason why I say that is because there is going to be a piece of energy that's going to dive down from Canada and ride the train, if you will, and head to the south and east. And the way this is configured, whatever drops down from our north and west would likely be in frozen form, and that could be either Wednesday or Thanksgiving Day. And the GFS and all the other models, well, they're just not exactly agreeing how that'll set up. So I'll talk more about that. Also, looking ahead here, this is the GFS, by the way, into the following weekend. Notice how the GFS has got a cutoff low that develops and a warming pattern that rapidly moves in just after Thanksgiving into the day after for the shopping day. I will say right off the bat, the European is not buying that solution. It is combining this low pressure itself into the jet stream pattern, and actually creates a much deeper system over the nation's heartland into the Ohio Valley. So very stark differences when it comes to Thanksgiving and that following weekend. So let me explain how this is all going to evolve, what I just said in the past 2 minutes. As we head into Monday afternoon, here's our system that produces the heavier rainfall on Sunday. It moves out of the way. Now you look at this map and you're thinking, well, it looks like this is going to be a rain to snow setup for Monday. Not exactly, because the movement of this is to the north, not due east. So the portion of this that would likely change into a rain to snow scenario is going to miss us and track more toward, say, Detroit. So this is mainly going to be ending as rain, it looks like, as we head into Monday, but temperatures will drop regardless after the front passes by Monday night into Tuesday. Then we head into the complicated setup here of the jet stream as we head into the busiest travel day of the year through Thanksgiving weekend. This is the GFS model. It is showing a very deep trough over us, so it dives that energy out of Canada we have to watch as a separate system, a clipper if you will, gives us a chance for some snow, light snow showers for Thanksgiving Day. But look at the warm up to our west. I mean, it really pushes this warm air just after this passes by. So Thanksgiving's chilly, and then after that, boom, a warming trend develops. The Canadian model is splitting the difference here on the two extremes we're looking at. It is still dropping down the piece of energy into the Ohio Valley as we head into Wednesday, a day before Thanksgiving. So it's a little faster with this. It dives it down Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night with a chance for some snow showers and maybe even light coating of snowfall. And it's showing a bigger storm trying to build in the western United States. So it's interesting to see that, whereas the GFS had nothing but warm air and dry out here. So already seeing two differences between the GFS there and the Canadian. Here is the European model. Looks nothing like the two of them. It is really digging in this trough across the nation's heartland into the Ohio Valley. And that first little wave that I was showing you that dives down, well, it combines it with the actual Arctic front and develops into a somewhat more organized system as we head into Thanksgiving and the day after for the busiest shopping day of the year on that Black Friday into that following weekend. And for snow lovers, this should excite you to see this, because this would be an accumulating snow event. But as of right now, only the European is on board with that idea. So we're fairly confident on how things are going to play out for Saturday with the rain chance to our west. We're confident on Sunday with rain and gusty winds, maybe some decent rain totals. Severe weather is not likely for Sunday, just some strong gusty winds, can't roll that out. And then as we get into next week, it's just going to be complicated here. We've got to figure out, are we going to have one little weak system pass through here to give us some snow showers either Wednesday or Thanksgiving Day with some chilly air, or we're going to see a bigger system dive down, and it'll be a slower one too, since it is going to be a bigger system, and that would push it in toward Black Friday and could easily give us a chance for maybe a bigger system when it comes to rain or snow. So we'll see how that plays out, but a lot of question marks for the holiday itself into the holiday weekend. There you have it. I hope it's clear as mud for you guys. Ryan Hoke over here hanging out. Say hi, Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
He's working on some more fun graphics. He's already trying to forecast a foot of snow tonight. I'm trying to calm him down, tell him it's not going to happen.
And he's putting words in my mouth. You didn't hear that.
No snow tonight. All right, that's it for right now. We'll see you today beginning at 5. Have a good one.